Oh, you're so blurry.
See? Hey, everybody, GameHounds podcast. Something special today. You will notice that my background is a little different than what it usually is. There's a reason for that. Shall I show you what it is? Here's Nick, right over there.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the same room. So yeah, I wanted to break the curse because it has been cursed for me to come down to Nick's, and I will go over the curse right now in detail. So, when was it that I got my car towed here?
It was a couple years ago. It was pre-pandemic.
Okay, pre-pandemic. Yeah, it's probably 5 years ago or so.
You came over for a game night. And I remember not the next day, just like later that evening, you left, and then I got a text from you that was like, "Hey, my car got towed." And I thought, "Oh shit, do you need a ride home?" You're like, "No, I'm already leaving with an Uber." It's like, fuck, I could have driven you home. But like on the way, you're just like, yeah. And I guess you had ended up parking in some guy's his driveway, but it was like a dirt driveway, so it kind of looked like a parking lot or something like that.
No. I parked in the parking lot of the building next door.
Oh.
And it's, expressly says, this is for people that live in this place.
Man,
And
they're on top of things. They're quick.
they instantly.
Okay. From your seat, you can look out the window, and your car is right down below.
Yes.
You can check to see if it's still there.
My car is still there. So that was the first time that the Nick's curse hit me. The second time was last week when I was supposed to come over for 4th of July. I'm sorry, Super Bowl Sunday, and I was supposed to meet the new girl. And I stopped off at a supermarket to pick up an Asian supermarket to pick up some unusual liquors, and bought the liquors. Got in my car. I had my purse with me because, of course, it was heavy since it had my computer in it, and left my purse in the shopping cart, and did not realize until I got down here 40 minutes away. So went all the way back, thought my purse was stolen, and had to cancel all my cards, had to freeze my credit,
because when you got there, the purse was gone.
When I got there, of course, the purse was gone, but I was told that the security had the purse, but then I went to security and it's like, we don't have the purse. So had to make a police report, cancel all my cards, which was debilitating because I only had I found $50 in a spare change around the house. That's all I had for the week. Had to change all my passwords, had to change I did order a new driver's license. I lost my glasses, everything except the my sunglasses that I had on. So I didn't have my computer glasses, didn't have my television glasses, didn't have, of course, lost my computer. And then at 9 o'clock that night, after canceling all the cards, I walk out on the front porch and there's my purse.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so somebody brought it back. I have a suspicion of who it was, but let's just say that there was reports it was handed to the security guard, and then I spent a good 4 hours with the security guard. And we bonded a little bit, and then surprisingly, my purse shows up without somebody coming to the door saying, "Here's your purse," just dropping it on my front porch.
How would you even begin to know who it was?
Well, it's obviously somebody who didn't want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they would have knocked on the door and said, "Here's your purse," and they would have delivered it safely. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it says Edie's going all robot and echoes. Well, probably the echoes are coming from my headset, leaking into Nick's headset. We didn't really think about that.
Are the microphones that sensitive?
Oh, AC Ray says it's
Oh.
fixed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I can hear you.
I think we're far enough away. I don't think the voices are bleeding over.
Yeah, hopefully. And yeah, I'm going to be a little bit fuzzy this time because I am using the Wi-Fi here because I tried to get my hard lot wire into Nick's system and I couldn't get it to work. I just don't have the hardware to
Yeah.
do it.
Oh, actually, I'm still. It looks like I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm not getting a signal of being hardwired in.
You should be hardwired in since I'm using your Wi-Fi. Just saying. Otherwise, it's just going to be a real shit show. So how are you?
We'll see.
Yeah, it wasn't for a lack of wanting to be here. It just was a bad week, but it all worked out. And so now I'm here because I want to break the curse of Nick. Nick's house hates me and I want to make it stop. So
Yeah,
I am going to break this curse.
You did something to anger the ghosts that lived here, and they had to get their revenge.
Yes, I did. And Nick has had a refrigerator full of alcohol. I literally handed him the liquor and said, I got to go back. So I handed him a grocery basket full of liquor. So we have a lot to talk about. We had people in the chat room. Thank you, AC Wraith, for reminding us of our Patreon. Yes, we are Patreon sponsored. Thank you very much. Patreon.com/GameHounds. And also, who do we have in the chat room? We got Blood Reaper. Hey, Blood Reaper, good to see you. And AC Ray says it's all a revenge scheme. Nick makes Edie blocky. He is literally the reason why I'm blocky today. So I guess we're not having an Andrew. Have you heard back from him yet?
No, I texted him. Haven't heard back. He's probably just asleep.
All right. So how was your week?
It was good. Yeah. Lots of Olympics still. I've been watching that pretty much every day. I took a break to binge a series called Gangs of London. Which
do I know this? I think I know this show.
Do you? Because it came out on AMC Plus only, which is the AMC, not the theater chain, the AMC channel's streaming service. It didn't come on TV. It just came on their streaming service.
Right, because I was watching the AMC service, or I had the subscription to the AMC service because of what's the one that was on AMC and then got canceled and got picked up by Amazon? The Expanse.
No, Expanse was on Sci-Fi.
Chasing Eve?
Killing Eve. Killing Eve? Was that AMC?
I think that was AMC. One of them. One of the shows.
Okay. Yeah, that might be AMC. But anyways, so Gangs of London is a series created by Gareth Edwards. No, I think Gareth Edwards. There's another director called Gareth Evans, and
another Gareth.
But Gareth Edwards directed the Raid movies, which are like two of the best martial arts action movies of the past several decades. And so Gangs of London. Yeah, just show everyone my kitchen. That's fine. What
is that?
What?
It's like spinach and something?
Yeah, spinach and artichoke dip.
Oh, okay.
I
haven't had breakfast, so.
Okay, I haven't either.
Keep going. I'm listening.
Okay, I'm just watching you. That's more spinach and artichoke dip.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we had a lot of dip for the Super Bowl.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I'm now
so sorry.
It's not your fault.
Yeah, it is. I was the one that left the damn purse in the damn shopping cart. It was my fault.
I guess true. Anyways, so Gangs of London, directed by like a great action director. Every episode has like at least one action scene that is like heads and tails above anything else you've seen on television that would by themselves rank in like best action scenes of the year. They're just truly intense, exciting, brutal, thrilling. But on top of that, the story, uh, I haven't binged a series as hard as I did this one in a long time.
Really?
It it starts off kind of like at the end of Game of Thrones season 1. So the patriarch of this crime family in London is murdered. Uh and like first 5 minutes you see the godfather get killed. And so the show then becomes kind of this mystery about uh who killed this godfather. As his son begins to take over, he decides, no, I'm shutting down everything. No one's going to run any drugs. No one's going to do anything until we find out who killed my father. And obviously, that rubs a lot of the lower level crime syndicates the wrong way. And so you get into this very uh, twisty political machination story where some people are trying to go behind his back to ship drugs off. Some people are trying to work with him to be like, hey, give me special treatment and I'll help you. His father was killed on the territory of one of them. So obviously he doesn't trust that guy. And so you have like all these various crime groups working like at odds with each other, against each other. And in the middle of it all is this undercover cop who decides, I'm going to take this moment of chaos to work my way up the ladder and go from being a low level thug to like number one bodyguard for this son who's just taken over the crime family. And it's really fucking great. It moves at a very solid clip. So like first episode, the father gets killed and his driver goes missing. And so for the first episode, people are like, where is his driver? Like, we knew this guy died and now his driver's missing. What's going on? By the second episode, they find the driver. So it's not the kind of series that's going to introduce a plot point and then drag it out for too long. It's going to introduce things, resolve it, throw in a good brutal action scene at some point, and then move on to something else. But it just does a really good job of continually escalating the stakes so that I have 3 episodes left, and it just feels like this powder keg that's going to explode and that nothing is going to end well for anybody. And yeah, it's just a very well plotted, well paced, well directed series. I was excited for it because I like the director, but I was not expecting to like get into it this much.
Good to know. I will actually have to think about that. That
Yeah.
would be
I if I had finished it, I could lend you the discs right now because I have it on disc.
no, that's all right. I have no problem looking for it elsewhere. I just finished up 2 really good series, Korean science fiction series, and so now I'm kind of looking for something else. Netflix has taken on a habit of starting series and then dripping them out once a week as opposed to
Oh yeah, I
in
see.
batches.
It does that with a lot of Korean stuff, especially.
Yeah, and it's very frustrating. So, what you been playing?
I've been playing the same things that I have last week, but my opinions of them have shifted.
Okay.
So last week I talked about Death's Door, which is this game on Game Pass. You play has this cute crow that's going around reaping souls, and one of your target soul escapes, and so you have to kind of go on this quest to hunt down these immortals who have big souls in order to open Death's Door, in order to get like the soul that you were charged with originally reaping. Last week I said it was like a fun exploration game, very Zelda-esque in that each area you go into kind of has a puzzle to solve or a combat scenario to get into or a puzzle combat thing to get into. And that all stays really true up until the last 2 bosses. The 2 bosses come in quick succession for each other. You fight like the third big immortal that you have to reap, and then you kind of go right into the boss of the game. And I feel like that's where the game has just really gone to hell, because those bosses are not fun to fight at all, and I think they actually highlight some of the bosses that feel designed around your limitations. So
Mhm.
you're a tiny little crow, and your sword has an okay amount of reach, but these last two bosses, they're big guys and they move fast. They move faster than you, and so it feels like you're constantly on the run. It feels like you are constantly like I'm fighting them with one hand tied behind my back. Um, and I guess if you want to look at one of the bosses, it's Betty, or it takes place on top of a mountain, if you can find that. But the bosses, they move too quickly, and it doesn't feel like it's giving me enough time to respond. The final boss, what was frustrating about it is he would attack so fast that if I mistimed the dodge, then he would just hit me 4 times in quick succession and kill me like that. So I had to be perfect with the dodges. And it exposed what I think is kind of a limitation to the game now, is that there is no way to recharge your health in the middle of a fight. So
So what you walk in with is what you have.
yeah, and the game is good about like letting you having a checkpoint right before the boss fight so that you can basically go into it with full health. But like in this video now, the character has found enough upgrades to like add 2 ticks to their health. I didn't get that. I just have 4 health points, which means if I get hit 4 times, I'm dead. So that led to a lot of moments where when the boss attacks like 4 times in a single combo, I can die within seconds. And there were times fighting the third boss where I would get in, the fight would start, I would mistime the dodge on his first attack, and I would die within literally 5 seconds of starting the fight. And so it became like this really frustrating memorization process of, okay, he's going to do this attack. I need to time the dodge like this, and then attack once, and then wait for the next thing, dodge. And it was frustrating because it felt like the kind of fight in which I couldn't make a mistake. And that's always a bad feeling, because the best boss fights in any game are the ones where there's kind of a back and forth. Oh, I'm doing really well, but shit, I messed up and he got me. But okay, I'm going to come back from this and win. And you can't do that when a boss can kill you in a single combo. Like, you just need to be perfect. And in the end, I got so frustrated with like this fight, I decided, okay, I'm gonna do it one more time, and if I lose, I'm just leaving the game,
Walking away.
deleting it, and walking away. And of course, that's the time when I beat it and I got hit once. Like,
Oh, wow.
and because that's what you had to do. I had to be almost perfect to do it. But then I fought the final boss, and the final boss was very similar in that it would often charge me like a bull. And so I would dodge out of the way, but then it would run past me. And it's like, well, I can't run up to it fast enough to get it. And so it just this constantly fighting with the speed of my character. And the thing is, I can increase my character speed. You can increase there's a skill tree, and the stats are like increase your melee damage, increase your range damage, increase your attack speed, and increase your movement speed. That all sounds great. And if this were a Dark Souls game, I would take a moment to just go grind out more levels, increase my character's speed, and then go fight that boss again. But in this game, you get that upgrade material so agonizingly slow. For context, there's like 4 skills and each has 5 nodes. So that's like, 20 upgrade nodes over the course of the whole game, right? I'm at the
Mhm.
boss of the game, and I've filled out maybe half. There's a whole skill that I haven't put any resources into. And that feels like the balance and the pacing of how it doles out its currency is like kind of broken. If I'm at the boss of the game and I've only filled out half of the skill tree, like there's no indication in the beginning of the game that I should be this skillful with these skills, that they are this rare of an item. If I did, maybe I would put more into range attacks. Maybe I would put more into speed, but I focused on melee attacks. And now I have a boss that constantly moves faster than me and gets outside of my melee range. So I'm just kind of fucked. And that's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling to feel like I spec my character wrong and I can't fix it. And that the boss designs have just, they've kind of sucked all the fun out of the game for me. Like it was a really fun, charming game to begin with, just a good adventure game, and then all of a sudden it turned into this brutalist, unforgiving combat thing that feels completely out of line with what came before. So
Right.
yeah, Death's Door, it's on Game Pass, so like I'd highly recommend people playing like the first couple levels. But then once you get to the mountain, just give up. Just leave. And leave with your good memories of the game, because the game doesn't, it gets bad after that point.
Okay, good to know. So I have been very much, in fact, I should have probably added this earlier. I'll stand by. I
Right.
need to.
Okay, I will just say AC
Yeah.
Wraith has said that difficulty seems to be an issue in the forums as well for this game. So, okay, I'm not the only one.
You're not alone.
It seems there's a brutal difficulty spike at the end that feels bad.
Crusader Kings. Well, you and I have been playing a lot with Chris.
Oh yeah.
Rainbow Six Extraction. And it is continues to be awesome. I really, really like it as a multiplayer game with your friends. It is not a multiplayer game for people not your friends.
Yeah.
It's a toxic waste pit of horrible, awful people.
Have you tried doing it with strangers? Okay, because I have not.
For about 30 seconds. Yeah. It just it's another one of those games that makes you realize that maybe the pandemic didn't go far enough.
Wow.
Like we just need a little, like it was a good start, it's kind of like first pass, cleaning a dirty floor. Now you really need to go in and scrub.
Wow.
Yeah, it's horrible, but
I
great game.
Need to celebrate. Blood Reaper says he got his PS5 today.
No, congratulations, dude. Where did you get it from? Because that's not easy to do. Actually, it's getting easier now. It's slowly starting to loosen up. And did you buy it from a scalper? I would be disappointed if you did. But I was all into Rainbow Six Extraction, and then last week, DLC dropped for Crusader Kings, the Royal Court. It is so good. It is so good. It's got some bugs. It needs to be sorted out. It is so good. I'm having so much fun. So this is Crusader Kings as we've had it before. Same game. Not that the essentials of it has not changed. What has changed is an expansion of the things you can do. Like we've played it before, and you've seen it, where you are on a map and you are trying to use diplomacy, intrigue, all these different qualities that you can have in varying degrees to expand your realm. And in this case, now they've actually added more with culture. Like if you moved into a new area, like say you were in Bavaria and you took over part of Poland, the people that were in Poland, the citizenry would hate you because you're not them. Now you can actually create whole new cultures that are two cultures together. And I'm trying to get the thing up, so the video up so that you can see it. And it's also added an actual court that you can go into, where you can actually see a throne room. And
cool.
within that throne room, you can have artifacts of varying degrees of rarity. And the more rare, the more stats they give you. And they really boost up your character in a lot of really interesting ways. And these artifacts are all over the world. And when you fight someone, you might steal an artifact if you beat them. If you can demand artifacts saying that they're yours, give them back and go to war over them. And then you can display them in your, you can also buy a claim if you've got the right skills in the skill tree. You can actually buy a claim and then demand it from someone. And if you are strong enough, you can bully them into giving it to them. I have Jesus's kneecap.
What? That's a thing?
It is in Crusader Kings. It's a relic. It gives me quite a lot of piety. I have a Charlemagne's throne. You can steal other people's crowns. It's pretty good. So I'm trying to bring up the royal court. This is a little hard because I'm doing it on one screen instead of two. Gameplay. Sorry, it's.
I don't know. I've found that's very easy to deal with. I've only ever had one screen.
Yeah, because you're not running the show. You
look at Miss. Ooh, I've got 2 screens. Check your.
I've got to have. Well, I've one big screen, but instead of one little screen. Let's see. Trying to find. Oh, and of course, it's a multiplayer. I really want to play the multiplayer with you on this. It's I don't know that I want to open it up to multiple people like strangers, much like God dang it.
Rainbow Six or Civ?
Yes, Rainbow Six.
Well, I imagine the Crusader Kings players are different breed of people than Rainbow Six players.
I assume nothing. I absolutely assume nothing. Because all players, somebody's going to come in and they're going to want to beat you. And that's the thing, is that you may not want to be competitive. You may actually want to work with each other, which sounds awesome, that one of us could be emperor and one of us could be one of the kings within the empire and be working together sometimes. It looks very much the same. It feels very much the same, but there is that extra element of the royal court that you can actually go into and be in the court, and then also having the relics, and then also creating these cultures that have basic principles that you've got your basic principles that you're kind of born with. And then, your culture's born with, and then you can actually meld other cultures and take some parts of your culture and some parts of the new culture and put them together to create a whole new culture.
Can you do that with lands outside of your territory?
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole point.
Okay, so you're creating a friendly culture.
For example, I'm showing this. If Bohemia is Bohemian culture, and Poland, in my case, I've renamed it to the fast food nation. So the fast food nation is my kingdom, and I'm next to Poland. I took over Poland. Poland is now part of the fast food nation. And so I'm, now I've got 2 different cultures within the fast food nation, the Bohemian culture and the Polish culture. And when you get a certain amount of acceptance between those 2 cultures, you can actually meld those 2 cultures together to make them, I called the culture foodie. foodie culture.
Okay, but so, and you can do that within another country, and then can you use that as like pretext to invade?
No, you really have to be the foodie
Okay.
culture has to come from other places. Although I don't know, I don't think you can. I don't think you can use your priest, your
I'm thinking like send in your people, a kind of stealth army. Get the
no.
culture to your side and then invade, and the people will invite you as saviors.
Right. But the creation of these artifacts that have some pretty impressive stats. They can go all the way
So
from
they actually give you
to like
bonuses?
holy, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Some of them huge bonuses. The crown, the headpiece of Charlemagne is got huge bonuses. The throne of Charlemagne has great bonuses. The sword of fate is another one of them.
Hmm.
And you don't know who has them. You don't know where they are. So you have to kind of sort of look around to see who's got the really good ones and whether you want to go for it. They tend to have a lot of them in the Middle East. But also, every once in a while you will find one, just up in France, and sometimes you'll get somebody demanding their one of your better pieces from you. And if you can't hold on to it, then they've got it. So you might have this minor level noble who's got the freaking, sword of God.
I like to imagine that basically all the European kings have these secret artifacts, and like all of the wars in Europe are just pretext for these artifact collecting.
Yeah, possibly. You
There's
can
a
also
kind
create
of
your own,
Assassin's
which is also
Creed
interesting.
element to it.
Yeah, I've my kingdom is sorry, my dynasty is the Kentucky Fried Dynasty.
Oh God.
My kingdom is the fast food nation. My culture is the foodie nation, or the foodie culture. And yeah, I'm pretty. At one point, I was emperor of the Holy Roman Emperor, and I had to restart not being the Holy Roman Emperor because it really fucked up the game. It fucked up what I was trying to do.
What are you trying to do?
Well, I was trying to unite the Western Slavs, and I was one tiny piece away from doing it, and couldn't do it. But it's a fun game of just like sitting together and talking things out and talking about whose wife is sleeping with whom and who's demand. There now you can see the royal court. And when you get stuff for the royal court, then you can actually display it in your court, and that court, like that banner behind that throne, is actually a banner that gives you bonuses. You also have to go into the court and hear people complaining and asking you for things every once in a while.
AC Wraith says, food seems to be a better campaign theme than incest. Which, maybe.
Why did he write that? I don't see that.
In the chat. It's
I'm
at
looking
the bottom.
for it. Maybe I'm not seeing it. Not showing up yet.
No.
So, yeah, and Blood Reaper says you got people who want to see the world burn. Yeah, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you've got your game, and then somebody comes in, and all they want to do is attack you and take over your stuff. It's like, I don't want to play competitively. I want to play with somebody and have an interesting night, and not necessarily trying to defeat each other.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows the proper thing to do would be to have someone come in, be your friend, be like a king under your command, and then secretly have an assassination plot in play, and then they kill you and suddenly take over.
Right. And
That's how you do it. Not with
and or that you both decide that it's like, well, I need to go kill Poland. Essentially, it was really nice. The particular feed we're watching right now is from the Spiffing Brit, and it was him and 4 other streamers all playing together, and they were all members of the HRE, and like they were all just trying to expand the HRE together.
That's cool.
and all of them failing miserably, because of course the game throws in things to you that you could talk about, of like why somebody slept with somebody's mother, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a game I wish that you might be able to take some time. By the way, you can if you see somebody's comments and I don't, you can always just throw it into the.
How do I?
You click on the comment.
I don't have that authority.
You don't have that authority. All right. I'll have to give you that, maybe. Yeah. So let's see. Yes, thank you for that link. The Crusader Kings 3 is a perfectly balanced game with no exploits. Oh yeah, there are totally exploits in there. And that's what makes kind of half the fun of it, is finding out the most powerful build in order to take advantage of things, especially when your friends are there. You're not trying to beat them. You're just trying to,
Yeah,
poke them a little.
everyone can do the exploit and become powerful, and then everyone can just increase the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah, or whatever. Take Syria. Have Ireland take over the world. Or Italy. I've been subjugating your people now.
Oh, I'm offended. I would be if I cared. Oh,
You got black screen?
no.
Okay.
I see you. You just kind
he's
of
hardwired in. I'm not. So I got black screened for a second there. Yeah, I was subjugating, trying to take over Italy so that I could recreate the Roman Empire. That is one of the things that you can do, is you can reinstall the Roman Empire. Like subjugate the Pope is not easy. The Pope has a lot of money.
Us Italians will never submit to the Kentucky Fried Chicken dynasty.
Oh, you Italians have fallen like fucking wet toilet paper to me.
Oh, wow.
Who's hard is the Pope, because he's got a lot of money. Oh yeah, no, I've got I've got Venice, I've got most of northern Italy, I've got Sardinia, I don't have Sicily. I had Sicily at one point and I let it go. But I'm moving my way down through Italy. And avoiding everything but the papacy. Right now, my particular character has declared independence from the HRE, which is a bit of a challenge. And I'm trying to create my own empire, the fast food empire.
With your unique culture combinations. So
the foodie culture.
So in your world, Italians are going to have spaghetti with fried chicken.
Absolutely.
Spaghetti with
nuggets. Called Jollibee. Have you never been to a Jollibee? You and I have to go to a Jollibee.
You're okay, so you're
there is
Jollibee.
Yeah. The you know what a Jollibee is, right?
I've seen the logo, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Korean? Yeah, I think it is. It's Korean fast food chain. They do spaghetti and fried chicken.
Okay. And Bitters Plus says spaghetti with fried chicken is great. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that's what comes to mind when I think of a cultural combination of the Kentucky Fried Dynasty in Italy.
Yep. And there you go. Jollibee Foods. It's very popular. Maybe I think Jollibee is Filipino. I could be wrong. I don't think it's Korean. I think it's Filipino. But yes, Jollibee fried chicken is great. There's spaghetti, not so much, because it's Filipino spaghetti, and I'm not a fan of Filipino spaghetti. They put sugar in their spaghetti.
Oh, that's weird.
I know. Yeah, it's weird. It's a taste thing. That's what Filipino spaghetti is. It's spaghetti sauce with a bunch of sugar in it. It's not great, for me at least. But their fried chicken is. But yeah, so Crusader Kings Royal Court, Man, I hope nobody I work with watches this show. So I can neither confirm nor deny that there may have been one or more days of me sitting at work,
Working
but
from home
answering,
or
working
it,
from home,
okay.
but not at my work computer, at my home computer. That might be playing Crusader Kings, and might have started it at 8:30 in the morning and played it until 3 in the
Oh,
morning the next morning.
geez.
Yeah, it's that kind of game. Bitter says, now I have to taste Filipino, but yeah, go find one of your Filipino friends and say, hey, can you make Filipino spaghetti for me? It's different. It's definitely different. Some people love it. I mean, a lot of people love it. I don't like it. But I'm not a very much of a meat and sweet kind of gal. I like my meat on one side, my sweet on the other. I'm one of those people that at Thanksgiving make the green bean fences between the gravy and the chicken, the turkey and everything, and the cranberry sauce. We cannot let those things mix. Like I like my things separate.
Okay, like
and then
cranberry sauce and gravy, yeah, they don't mix very well.
cranberry
But
sauce and turkey.
but sweet potatoes and anything else go together pretty well.
Nope. Sweet potatoes don't. Yeah. Sweet potato is an abomination.
Oh yes, we agree about that. The only sweet potato that's good is like sweet potato with marshmallows has a dessert at Thanksgiving. That is good.
Okay, dessert. Yes.
Yeah, because it's loaded
sweet
with
potato
sugar
pie,
and marshmallows.
Delicious. Yeah, absolutely.
But no, everything else sweet potato sucks.
Candied yams?
No.
No.
I tried sweet potato fries once at a restaurant and regretted it.
No, see, I don't mind sweet potato. They're right. Sweet potato fries are not bad because the frying actually takes out a lot of the sweetness to them. I don't mind them that way.
No, they just taste ugly.
So I think that there is a place in hell for people that get. I mean, it's kind of its own level, its own Dante level. People that get syrup on their bacon.
What? Syrup and bacon are delicious together.
See, there's the meat and sweet that I
absolutely delicious together.
Like I've heard about this deep fried praline bacon, and it's like, no, we don't do that.
Oh,
bacon.
No.
The closest it should get to anything sweet is applewood. That's it.
Yeah, applewood bacon is delicious, and then you use it to like mop up any leftover syrup.
No. And I really struggle with chicken and waffles because I love waffles.
Oh, really? Oh no,
and
those
I
are
love
both
chicken.
Great.
But I can't get if I go to a chicken and waffles plate. It's like I need them on 2 plates. I need a Chinese wall between the waffle and the chicken.
Bitters says syrup and bacon are ordained by heaven, and I agree.
No, I agree. They're gross.
No,
but I know I'm an outlier. But in my hell, that is a level of it. If you want to torture me, just give me bowls of syrup with bacon in it, and I will starve to death.
I mean, I don't think that's particularly healthy, but okay. Just a bowl with bacon in it and syrup.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat either. I wouldn't touch either. AC Ray says, can confirm syrup and bacon being good. I just can't confirm budgeting for any bacon in the past decade. Budgeting?
Bacon's not that expensive. Well, I guess.
Bitter says the queen is mad. I may be very well a mad queen, but I'm a queen who does not eat her syrup and bacon together.
Yeah, no, that's absurd. You're wrong. You're wrong.
AC Ray says, now I want a BLT. See, BLTs are the king of sandwiches. best of
No,
all worlds.
no,
It
the
is
tomato
it is
ruins
a
it.
salad with bacon on it, covered in mayonnaise salad dressing and placed between two pieces of the cheapest white bread you can find.
If you remove the tomato and replace it with almost anything else, it
Really, you
becomes
don't
good.
like tomatoes? I find that curious. You being Italian, see,
No,
I will eat.
sliced tomatoes are particularly bad. It's too much of the tomato flavor. Like BLTs are bad because you just slice the tomato and you put it right on there, and that's too much. Like tomatoes and salad, no,
So tomato sandwiches, you would not be down for that?
no.
I
But
love
but
a good tomato sandwich.
any pasta sauce, good. Tomato soup, good. Ketchup, good.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I will eat a tomato like an apple.
Oh fuck no! Get the fuck out! Get out! You're banned from this place.
Yeah, no, I absolutely am. But
Tomato
like
has to
a
have.
tomato sandwich on toast, oh yeah, with not Miracle Whip, has to be mayonnaise, and it has to be Best Food / Hellman's mayonnaise.
No. Sliced tomatoes are only good if there's enough other
Tomato,
stuff to hide the
a
tomato
little bit of
flavor.
salt on top, pop that between a
Oh,
sandwich, and just let it run down
Jesus.
your chin. Just eat it over the garbage can. Oh, so good.
Fuck.
Trust me.
You're evil.
Hmm. Or even better, take that same tomato sandwich, right, with the mayonnaise and everything, throw a piece of cheddar cheese on top, stick it in the grill, underneath the grill for like, just long enough for the cheese to get melty. Then pop another piece on that. It's like a grilled cheese sandwich without the grill, but with tomato.
It's like a grilled cheese sandwich without the grill, so it's a cheese sandwich.
No, because it's toast, and then you put it under the griller so that the cheese is melted, but it's not like buttered bread or anything. It's not sticky on the outside. It's not greasy on the outside. And then my favorite is a tuna melt with a piece of tomato on it.
No. You're just ruining good sandwiches.
That is my favorite sandwich of all time.
No.
So,
And anyways,
Peter
I
says
did
I can take all the tomatoes in Crusader Kings. Anyway, so yes, Crusader Kings Royal Court. It does not make things any easier. It makes it not that much more difficult for an experienced player. It is
just
still a challenging game to
added
learn.
options.
It expands it and makes it more in depth and just gives it more nuance. It's a fantastic DLC that has just reinvigorated a game that I'd gotten kind of bored with. So good for them. Paradox
Cool.
did again what it does very, very well, is create these very large, expansive, strategic games that are not for the weak-willed. You have to really spend some time learning how to play them, but there is a reward with a really good game, that creating these campaigns that could potentially last for months, if not years, if you play them really slowly and strategically, or that they could go very quickly. I mean, actually, probably nothing goes quickly other than losing.
I mean, do they ever really end? Because when your character dies, you just take over their heir. So you could theoretically just play the same game for decades.
I think that it does end at a certain point when it reaches a particular age. It gets past the medieval age, the high medieval age. I think that it
Okay,
actually
that makes
ends. It
sense.
doesn't. It is. You can't keep playing until. I mean, I don't think it's a date. I think it's a certain amount of progression in the developments. So you could conceivably play that game until 2022 date-wise, just as long as you haven't reached a certain amount of culture or
Just
technology.
suppress all of culture, keep people ignorant. Don't educate the serfs.
Right. And then do everything you can to keep the game from progressing it. I
Okay.
believe that. Bitter says cool stubble. Thank you. I grew it just overnight.
Yes. Anyways, there's one more game I was playing. This is also what I was playing from last week, and I'll share my screen to make it easier.
Oh, thanks.
Uh, And this is Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights, which again is a mouthful of title. But whereas Death's Door, my opinion of it has just gone down the more I play of it, Ender Lilies, it's just keep going up. That game was a surprise, surprisingly fun in the beginning, and as I've gotten deeper and deeper into it, it continues to be surprisingly good. Um, like I said last week, you're this little girl running around a world. The way the game is structured, it feels like this interesting combination between a Metroidvania game and a Dark Souls game. So it's very Metroidvania in that it's a 2D action platformer where you're going to encounter lots of locked doors or areas that are inaccessible, and then as you go through the game and you get different abilities, you'll be able to access those areas. It's very Dark Soulsy in that as you go through a map, each square on the map uh, is like its own little gauntlet of enemies. And you'll enter a square and you'll see that, oh, there's a path up and a path to the left. Well, the you could go up, but then you encounter a locked door with a switch on the other side. And you realize, okay, I have to then go to the left, fight my way through this gauntlet of enemies to get like basically go up and around to get to that other side, hit that switch, unlock that door, and now I've unlocked the shortcut. So that every other time I come into this screen, I can just kind of go take an elevator straight up and get to the next screen. But I can't, I have to fight my way through each screen in order to unlock a shortcut to make that easier the next time. And that gives a really, it feels a lot of progressing by inches of like, okay, I want to get up and I just have to like, okay, fight my way through this group of enemies, then this group of enemies, then this group of enemies. And it's tough. It's definitely not easy. But I know that once I do it, I've unlocked the shortcut and I don't have to deal with them anymore. I can get that shortcut and go up that elevator. And that's really compelling because I know no matter how difficult a particular group of enemies is, I can once I get through them, I won't have to deal with them again unless I really want to. And that's really satisfying because any challenge and any difficulty the game throws at me, I know like, okay, if I can do this, I can pass this. I don't have to deal with this again. The way that you handle spirits, I've continued to find main bosses and mini bosses throughout the world that then become spirits I can summon on my behalf. And the fact that you can equip each of these spirits in a different loadout every time I get a new one, it's so much fun to play around with them and think, okay, how does this spirit work in conjunction with other spirits? What do they do? How can I best use them in a fight? And it adds a nice level of strategy to every fight because every time I get a new ability, it's like, okay, I want to just play around with it, see how it works, figure out what best context I can use this with, but then what enemies is this best for? And so combat is constantly evolving. Every time I enter a new area and I encounter new enemies, my first thought process is, okay, let's find the right combination of spirits to deal with these guys because it's always different. And it just adds an element of constant surprise and constant change within the game where I've never gotten to the point where I feel like I'm just sailing through things. And even when I get to a boss fight that is really tough, that I'll die a bunch at, similar to Death's Door, it's never frustrating because I know I can see where I'm failing and I can see where I can improve. And what's interesting is I think where I don't like in Death's Door, I feel like that game, it tries to create a challenge in combat by getting really hectic, by throwing a lot of things at you at the same time. Ender Lilies doesn't do that. It has, you'll fight a group of maybe 3, 4 enemies at most at once. And the challenge isn't we're going to throw a bunch at you at once. It's more about survival. It's about fighting a couple really tough enemies at a time. And so very similar to Dark Souls, once you get the pattern down, once you understand how the enemies move, how they act, how to best fight them, you can get through these combat scenarios fairly easily because, these enemies that once kicked your ass, now I'm killing them without getting hit. But then I'm going to enter a new area with a new group of enemies, and that cycle begins again. So everything that I like about Dark Souls, all the challenge of Dark Souls, the fairness of it, the learning of it, and the way that you are rewarded for learning enemies is present in this game. But also the dynamism of Dark Souls, where you can outfit your character in so many different ways, is here. So I'm playing with loadouts, playing with spirits, while at the same time trying my best to learn all these enemies. While at the same time, playing this Metroidvania where I get a new ability and my first instinct is I want to go back and explore this world. I want to see more of it. And every time you do, you're given genuinely substantial rewards, like either an increase in health, maybe you'll find a mini boss that gives you a new spirit. And so every corner of this world feels like it is filled with something that will add to the gameplay in a way that makes me actually want to explore each corner, because I'm not just going to be rewarded with points or a random item. I'm going to be given something that I can use. So, yeah, this game, Elden Ring comes out in a week, and I'm really excited for it. And I bought Sifu like a couple weeks ago, the martial arts game I was really excited for. I haven't played that because I started Ender Lilies with the intention of just like, I'm going to play this, see what it's like, and then I'll move on to play Sifu and Elden Ring. But this game has like really captured my attention because it's just that good.
Good to know. I only have one question. What is your apartment number?
Why?
DoorDash.
Okay. 37. I don't want to dox myself on live stream.
No, you're not going to dox yourself. I just wanted the apartment number. I've got everything else.
37.
Chicken and waffles and tomatoes.
Oh, fuck. No. Chicken and waffles good. Why would you add tomatoes to that?
Tomatoes on everything. Actually, I'm not that crazy, but I'm more of a mushroom gal. What do you want to eat? We're going to order something. We have to order food. Nick hasn't eaten. I haven't eaten. It's now 3:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, shit.
Starving.
I just realized I made half of a pizza and put it in the microwave last night to hide it from the cats. Still there. Okay. I should go put it in the fridge.
Yeah, you probably should. What do you want to eat? I mean, it's too late now. Like an extra 5 minutes. Why are you running? It's literally been out of in the. It has literally been out all night, and now you're running because you want to get it in there. Idiot. You're an idiot.
If I don't do it now, I'll forget until tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Chicken and waffles with spinach dip sounds good. Yeah. What do you want to eat?
It doesn't. Who says that? Ace, no. Fuck off. Chicken and waffles and spinach dip.
We could get fried chicken.
Yeah, there's a KFC like right down the street.
No. We're getting DoorDashed, and we're going. What do you want to eat? What do you?
I mean, I don't know anything. I'm fine. I don't need. AC Ray says I'm just making use of your leftovers. I don't need, like, I'm happy to let the leftovers last. I'm not in any rush to use them up.
Oh, there's an El Pollo Loco around here. House of Dumplings. Oh, you've got a crispy crunchy here.
Crispy crunchy.
Oh, let me tell you. Okay. This is a secret. Actually, it's not that big a secret. In the Bay Area, there is a chain called Crispy Crunchy. Crispy Crunchy is a fried chicken chain that they are exclusively in gas stations.
Okay, that doesn't feel like a selling point.
I know. It is the best fried chicken in the Bay Area, if not the United States. And I'm willing to like throw down on that one. It is amazing fried chicken. And there's like 20, 25 different locations in the Bay Area. It is amazing fried chicken. And we know about it because we have two different crispy crunchies in where I live. And then I saw an article in the Chronicle, the San Francisco Chronicle, like this could possibly be the best fried chicken I've ever had.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing that resembles a vegetable on the menu, but their fried chicken is out of this world. I'm crispy crunchy.
That's very weird, but okay. Okay.
Yeah, and you will find them in gas stations, and usually like Arco stations, like, you know, not like upscale, like these are ones that are in the hood, but the amazing. And you can't get sweet potato fries.
No. I don't even know how to like respond to that. It just like the best is in this gas station.
So
That
we're
feels
going to get
so
a
weird.
12-piece because you're going to want leftovers. Go ahead. All right. So what else have you played? I'm just going to order up crispy crunchy chicken, and we're going to have that shit delivered.
That's actually it. Ender Lilies and Death's Door is.
Yeah, I mean that's all I've done. Well, I mean, Rainbow Six Extraction and a lot of Crusader Kings. By the way, if anybody wants to learn how to play Crusader Kings for me, I'm by no means an expert, but there's enough people. I want to play with friends enough that I am happy to, like sit down or even do a tutorial, like how to get started. This is how to play the game. It takes a lot to learn how to play the game. I mean, I watched Italian Spartacus, who does an amazing job with tutorials for Crusader Kings 3. I did a lot, like, a good 4 to 5 hours at least of watching his videos, trying something, not understanding something, watching his videos, explaining it, trying it again. But I am so happy to help with doing that. That would be awesome.
The tutorial is as long as another game.
The tutorial is, yeah, it's long, but I mean, if you have somebody that's playing it with you and kind of walking you through it, then it goes a little bit faster.
Oh, AC Ray says Crusader Kings 2 is free to play now.
Crusader Kings 2 is free to play with, I believe that they did that with the at some point, either fairly recently or with the release of the Royal Court last week.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but Crusader Kings 3 is obviously a bigger, much deeper game. So
I remember
Bitter
trying.
Says, don't underestimate gas station restaurants. No, do not. That's where sometimes you find the best. Bitter says Hydra food harassment tactics. And AC Rate does say CK2 would be easier for people to play since it's free to play now. Yeah. It might be in that way. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I remember trying to play Crusader Kings 2. I bought it on a Steam sale several years ago. Spent 2 hours going through its own tutorial, and then I got to play the game, and I thought, what do I do? What button do I press to make things move? Like, with Civ, there's a big button in the corner that you click, and it's like, that's the end of my turn. With Crusader Kings, I learned like what all these different menu things did, but I didn't know how to do an action, how to do something.
Right.
And so I spent like 20 minutes just clicking around the menu going, am I playing the game? am I am I is anything happening? Is time moving? I don't know. So yeah, Paradox games are just like that. Little dense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But I mean, they're well worth it playing it. That's for sure. It's a experience that um it's it could easily swallow your life. It's definitely a long-term play. It's not something you play and then walk away from and never pick up again. It is something that you keep coming back to, especially when they add stuff like this DLC that is just so expansive. It adds so much more nuance and so much more interesting interactions that you can have not only with other players, human players, but even the AI players, making the game do things. You'd think to yourself, oh, I'm a king, I'm playing against an AI, I can just make everything happen the way I want to. I'm just going to walk in and I'm going to take over their country. Yeah, it's not that easy. There are rules for what you have to do, and figuring out the mechanics of inheritance could mean the difference between when you die, or your heir is now fighting against his brother from the postage stamp of what used to be your country. That happens. So yeah, it's a good game. So anyway, do you want to hit the news?
Yes.
I'm going to let you start with the news because I have not put any of my news up on the screen. So it's and I haven't done any of the preparation that I normally do.
Okay.
So
Hang on. I just saw an email that this meadery I follow has this limited edition release, so I need to go buy $150 worth of meat.
Oh my God. All right, so let's do the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary for the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick Nicola. And our first item is.
I do have one.
Oh, now you're going to jump in after you said you weren't going to?
Yes.
Okay, right.
So the people running the Halo TV series has said that they're going to take off his helmet, and you're going to see his face, which is just like it's a creative choice. But it's interesting since the games have never done it. And it's something that they have said, we're making a character focused story, so we know that if we want to do that, we got to take off his helmet. And the Mandalorian was a very similar type of show in that it starred a character that spent 90% of the time in a helmet, but they did take off his helmet and he spent time unmasked and it worked for that. So I think it's fine with Halo. I don't know what that series will be like anyways, but it's an interesting creative choice. Also, they've all gone to lengths to specify that this is actually a different timeline than the video games. So the real Master Chief still has never shown his face. And it's just another thing that kind of makes me wonder about that show. It also got renewed for a second season already.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come out at the end of March, but Paramount Plus, which is airing it, has already renewed it for a second season. So either Paramount Plus is just desperate for content or they liked what they saw. I honestly feel like it's a coin flip.
Really?
Yeah. The trailer looks interesting, but also kind of cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It I feel bad saying this because I know you liked the show. It looks cheap in the way that Cowboy Bebop did. Where
Oh, I really liked Cowboy Bebop.
I know you did, but I couldn't help watching that show feeling like I don't know where you spent the money because all these sets and costumes look like you got them out of a Halloween store.
See, I don't feel that way. That ain't right. That ain't right.
Fair, fair.
All right, so we have an order coming up of 12 pieces of chicken, 6 honey butter biscuits that you will see God. Their jambalaya is amazing.
Okay.
Any leftover jambalaya is going home with me. You know what? I'm going to order another freaking jambalaya for myself. That goes home with me. Their jambalaya, it is something special. I'm going to have 2 large jambalayas.
Jesus, large?
Yeah.
I don't eat that much.
The larger this size. The smaller this size.
Oh, okay.
It's a large single serving versus a small single serving. Wow, your Crispy Crunchy does pizzas as well. Who knew? So yeah, we've got 12 pieces of chicken, 6 honey biscuits, jambalaya, and fries.
Where's this from?
Regular fries. Crispy Crunchy chicken.
Oh,
Gas
okay.
station chicken, baby. We're doing it. Okay, so anyway,
Okay.
Master Chief is going to be unmasked in the TV series. What do you think he looks like?
The actor. Whatever the actor looks like.
Oh, that's right. I guess it would, huh? Yeah, I guess. Do we know who the actor is? Who's Master Chief?
Yeah, it was in the news story, but I closed it. It's like Pablo something.
Okay.
I don't know who it is. In the Mandalorian, it was Pedro Pascal, which like people know him. They know what he looks like. But if I say it's Pablo Bill, like you don't know who Pablo Bill is, so
Right. So, let's see. My next item is unfortunately
AC Wraith in the chat has said, if you send him stuff in the mail, please use his name and not AC Wraith. The post office has scolded him in the past.
Who sent you something that said AC? Was it us that said something to you? Oh. I'm gonna send it to your name with a like Bob, not AC Wraith Smith.
That's fine too. Or put AC Wraith in his address.
Right.
Just to fuck with them.
Right. All right, so salt is a hell of a drug. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my friend. That's what this is going to be. So give me another story, and I can order this because I need one more thing to do.
There's a couple like small stores. I'll clean up some stuff that we didn't get to last week. The game Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League has been delayed into 2023. This is the new game from Rocksteady, the developers of the Batman Arkham games. And there's kind of not much to say about it except that it was delayed. I feel like this is not so much a COVID delay, but more of the traditional, hey, game development is hard type of delay. So if you're looking forward to that game, yeah, you got to wait an extra year. Rockstar has officially announced they are working on GTA 6, which I don't think anyone doubted, but they all they did is basically put out like a tweet that says, "Hey, development on GTA 6 is underway," and then blah blah blah, some other like promotional things, but they have acknowledged the existence of the game that everyone already assumed existed. So it's on its way. We'll see what that is. It could be any number of things at this point, considering that God, GTA 5 has been out for almost a decade at this point, and that online service has done incredible for them. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with a new entry in that series after the success of GTA Online, to see if they make it any more yes.
Do they normally have a problem delivering here, like coming to the door or anything? Special instructions?
I mean, they might not be able to get through the gate.
Mm-hmm.
But
it says like 37, so it'll ring us. Oh, no, they'll probably just text me.
Yeah, just have them text you.
Right.
Yeah, it's because I remember when GTA Online first launched, it was a terrible, buggy, horrid mess of a launch. And so I'm curious with GTA 6 if which I assume will have an online component, if they'll integrate it any better.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they are working on 6.
Really?
Only because 5 still makes them so much money. And maybe they just feeling guilty now at this point. It's like we've taken so much money now. Shit, let's just do 6.
Well, I
I feel
assumed
bad.
like game development takes a long time. So I assumed they had ideas for 6 when 5 came out. And they've been kind of working on it in slowly bits and pieces, lots of pre-production stuff. It's like at least since 5 launched. And
Right.
at this point they're just comfortable enough along in the process that they want to admit it exists.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and going along with that same idea is that there are a lot of games that have been said that they aren't in the works that all of a sudden are. In fact, I should have written this down. This is what happens when when you don't do your stuff ahead of time. Is first one is that according to Eurogamer, uh, Dragon Age 4 is going to be released in the next 18 months. Which is really surprising. Development has, God, of course, freaking. Let me turn off my freaking ad block. It's
I
blocking
mean,
everything.
they've been showing enough promotional stuff for it in fits and starts over the past several years.
Right.
I believe 18 months is a long time.
2023? No, maybe. I mean, remember, this is a game that started, then was thrown away, then was started again and almost completed, thrown away again, restarted again. Rats running from the ship, and I mean rats like some of the biggest names in all the game Dragon Age series, the people that were responsible for it, gone, came back, left again. It has been. There's ways to describe like a shit show of development. This is a shit show of development that only separates itself from Anthem at this point by the results. Like, I'm expecting Anthem. I'm 100% expecting Anthem out of this.
I think that's fair.
And honestly, for BioWare to fuck up on this, they should know this is the nail in the coffin for them. If they deliver Anthem level development on this, and it's got literally all of the benchmarks of that kind of development process, if they actually deliver something like Anthem, or as far as bad or incomplete or lacking scope or a goal or a point, BioWare's over. BioWare's done. No one will believe anything they ever say.
Oh, but they're working on a new Mass Effect.
It would be the death knell for the Mass Effect game if they release Dragon Age 4 in 18 months and it is that bad. And so I'm really surprised that we're hearing about it in the next 18 months when we haven't seen trailers, we haven't seen.
Well, you don't usually see trailers for games that are 18 months out. That's not that unusual.
You get a little bit more than just cryptic screenshots.
No, I feel like a lot of games have a trailer and then a trailer with the announcement that they'll release in 6 months, and then they get delayed for another 6 months, and then you'll get it about a year later.
I don't know. 16 months is right about the time when you should be kind of at least, maybe not a full trailer, at least a teaser trailer. And we don't even have that. You got some kind of information beyond just screenshots like, hey, we're making it. unless it is BioWare magic, where they have not even come close to completing it, and they just figure that it in 16 months something will happen to make it happen. If they're relying on BioWare magic to save this, they've got a problem.
I mean, all the people that were in time have left practically. All the leads.
Right, and those are the people who know how to make this game.
Hmm. So, like, I feel like the best way to think about Dragon Age 4 is to basically think of a new developer taking over the Dragon Age series.
A new developer, but laboring under a maybe, suspicious that they may be laboring under some kind of delusion that a game can make itself.
Yeah, a developer whose last game was so-so.
Has a reputation of being bad.
Mm.
That's exactly where we're at right now, and that is unfortunately where BioWare stands as far as their reputation.
But I know other games that were announced. I saw something that Ubisoft has said they expect Skull and Bones to release by April of next year.
Yes, I
And
saw the same thing too.
They have refashioned it as a live service game, which is more disappointing. I'm significantly less interested in that now.
Yeah. I think that Ubisoft, that's the second worst thing that they have said in the last month, the first being fucking NFTs. Followed quickly behind Skull and Bones being live service.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes you wonder who's behind the wheel at Ubisoft. Like, are they not reading the room?
Well, live service games I understand because those are kind of where the industry is going, and Ubisoft has generally been pretty good about maintaining that. I mean, they wanted to transition Assassin's Creed into a live service game. There were rumors about Assassin's Creed Infinity kind of being a live service model. So it makes sense that this would go in that direction because I feel like they're pushing a lot of their franchises in that direction. NFTs are just dumb, and I feel like Yves is desperate for money.
Yeah.
Yves is desperate for something at Ubisoft.
Yeah, I think I sent you that thing on that meme or that quote off of Twitter, that tweet that said NFTs are the Mary Kay for tech bros.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's a fucking pyramid scheme, guys. It's a fucking pyramid scheme.
And it's also
Please do not get
hilarious
involved.
how many other developers, and there's too many to like make news stories out of each one, but more developers over the past 2 weeks have announced a foray with NFTs. After the backlash, have said we're reconsidering it, and then have canceled their foray into NFTs. To the point where it has become such a typical process that I wonder why would anyone even bother announcing a foray into NFTs, because you know exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be a backlash and they're going to cancel it, because it's happened with practically every other recent NFT announcement, at least in the gaming space. Like, you go over into the tech space and there's more investors just willing to throw money around. But when you do it in the gaming space and you're trying to sell it to consumers, they always reject it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a case of reading the room. Nobody is reading the room because they are all sitting around with their tech bros in the same room, smelling their own farts and thinking it and telling each other it smells like Axe body spray.
Oh, I wonder if it's an attempt to get investor money and not consumer money. Like, you announce this NFT initiative with the assumption that we're going to get some other investors to give us money, but we'll never actually put out a product. So we won't ever have to get to the point of getting consumers.
It's not a bad strategy if you think about it this way. That NFT people tend to be obviously very fucking gullible. If you think that NFTs are a good idea, given all of you what you know, after if you do any minimal amount of research about what's wrong with them, and you still think that they're a good idea, you are obviously someone who has got more money than sense. So it's like jumping on. It's like trying to hire the disabled for like cheap, trying to underpay the disabled for working for you. It's taking advantage of a group of people that obviously have some kind of problem being able to process common sense. And if these people have money, it's just a really good way to fleece them. They're a very good target for saying, hey, bro, we're doing NFTs.
There's a really, really good article.
It's not good. Just like it's not a good thing to try and take advantage of people with learning disabilities to make money off of them by either making them work cheaply or by stealing their money. That's reprehensible. It's kind of reprehensible that these companies are trying to take advantage of people who obviously have a real problem with common sense and, I don't believe that survival of the fittest is necessarily a good thing. And that's what that is. Taking advantage of a disabled population.
There's a really good article on Waypoint about NFTs. And the writer, Patrick Kleptic, talked to someone that's developing an NFT game. And one of the most illuminating quotes he got from the guy was something along the lines of, it's easier to go from NFT to games than from games to NFT. And that's not the exact quote. The sentiment was, it's easier to get investors to fund, it's easier to get NFT money to make a game, to get people giving you money on the NFT side and then make a game, right? Instead of having a game and then implementing NFTs. Of the direction is easier. It's give people all the buzzwords to get the money, and then make a game, as opposed to make a game and then implement NFTs.
Yeah.
He's
yeah, makes sense. That does make sense. It's a whole lot easier. Yeah. And I bet you that is exactly what is happening, because I can't believe that anybody in the gaming space has not
Thank
seen.
you, AC Race. AC Race for linking to the exact article.
Mm-hmm. And I can't believe that anybody who is involved in the games industry that has seen any kind of report of the reception to the concept of NFTs in games. Unless they truly don't care, or they are so high on their own egos that they don't understand that it is near universal hate. And it's not a little bit. It's like you either think they're great, or you will never buy that company's game again. It is like a great divide. So, and there's a lot more people on the hate side than there are on the I love it side. So that's the only thing that makes any sense, is that it has to do with getting people who are interested in NFTs to invest in you, and then making money off of that to make a game.
Yeah.
The problem is that they're poisoning the well. They're perpetuating the idea that NFTs are a good idea in games, even connected to games in any way. And two is that you're just pissing people off. That it's like, will I buy any game that was supposed to have NFTs and then didn't? Nope. You're going to catch a lot of hell from people like Jim, Stephanie Sterling, and everybody else who is going after games that are even entertaining the ideas of coming up with NFTs.
There's also a really good YouTube video that everyone should watch, from the channel Folding Ideas. The video is basically, it's titled Line Goes Up, and it's like an hour-long deconstruction of why NFTs suck. And it's a really good video because it explains in plain, it defines all of the terminology that NFT bros like to throw around, and then describes in plain English why these systems and concepts don't work, why they're not good and effective. And like, it's just a very solid, informative breakdown of this issue. Like, everyone should watch it. It's a great video.
Yeah. Well, you only need to know one thing about NFTs. They're a scam. They're just a scam. Unless you're the one that are making the NFTs and getting people to buy them, like that Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's
making money except the Bored Ape Yacht Club guys. And guess what? They're not putting that money back in NFTs. You know they're not.
The Folding Ideas guys was doing an interview with someone else, and they asked him, like, why does NFT art suck? Like, why is it all so bad? And he specifically mentioned them of like, look, because the artists know they don't have to put in that much work, because it's not about the art, it's about the status of having to pay for it. And so if you can sell like a pixel rock for $1 million, you're not, as an artist, you're not going to go through all the effort of creating like an elaborately painted thing. You're going to create some cheap piece of shit and then try to sell it for a lot of money, because it's not about the art itself. So you don't have to put into a lot of work into the art.
It has literally no intrinsic value, and even less intrinsic value than real art.
Mm-hmm.
When the iPhone App Store first came out, way back when you were a tiny, tiny baby, and the first iPhone
diapers and pacifiers.
Yeah, you were. The iPhone came out, and they're on the App Store when there was like maybe 1,000 things on the App Store tops. There was an app that came out. Everything was 99 cents. Everything was 99 cents.
Is this the red jewel? I remember this.
The Red Jewel app. That I forget what it was called. I want to say I Am Rich, but it was an app that did nothing, but when you started it, it showed a red jewel on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
And it cost $10,000. And the whole point of it was to be owned. Like, it was a show, it would show you're rich because you have the Red Jewel app.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that, and people bought it. Not a lot.
Did they take it off the store? I know Apple did something. They stepped in.
There you go. I Am Rich. Yep, there it is right there. It is called I Am Rich. That was the name of the text. Oh, order's been picked up. On their way.
Okay.
Oh, we are going to eat chicken and get so liquored.
Anyways, game news. More game news.
Oh, yes, game news. Let's see. What do I have?
I have a bunch of more fun things.
Mm-hmm.
This was a week ago at this point, but the New York Times crossword had a hint that was...
Hold on. I'm getting a black screen.
Okay. I'll wait until Edie connects again. Then actually, before getting to that one,
there we go.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, so the New York Times had the New York Times crossword puzzle had a hint that was the better of two sci-fi franchises.
And Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yes. And the first no. It's genius what they did. So the first
8 letters.
The first half was Star. And so, like, basically, it's like, what is the second half? Trek or Wars? The vertical things, based on the clues, you could put in either Trek or Wars, and it worked.
Oh, that's really good.
It's so clever the way they did it. Yeah. So just got to give kudos to New York Times to whoever did that one, because it's so brilliant. The fact that they, although I did see a bunch of people going, no, the answer is Stargate, and it doesn't work.
Stargate's not even close. Stargate's good. Don't get me wrong. Stargate's good, but it's not even close.
But yeah, I just thought that's a super clever, super ingenious little Easter egg.
Yeah, Wordle, man. That did not last long before the New York Times picked that up, and there were a lot of people that were very upset because they were afraid they would lose their Wordle history. Actually, I think they did lose their Wordle history.
Yeah, well, I think they did, and then it came back after a
They came
couple
back, right.
hours. But then, New York Times has like started to prevent you from guessing some words, like offensive words. It's in the grand scheme of things. Excuse me. It's not that bad, but it is like, hey, you're changing this thing that everyone loved. But kudos to the guy for basically cashing out.
Yeah. And not only
Yeah.
did he cash out, but he actually donated a lot of the money for to charity, because
yeah?
we don't know how much they paid for it, but it was reportedly low 7 figures,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a bad amount to take home for a little word game, a clever
Yeah.
little word game.
For a word game that you made, like, for the fun of it. That you made for, I think he made it for his partner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh, come
Okay.
on.
Anyways, we were talking of NFTs.
I've got some news. I can
Oh,
bring
okay.
some news. I do have the notes. It takes me a little while to get to them. So give me a hot second.
I didn't know if you had something. I'm just
Oh,
filling the air.
I have 3 weeks of news that's
I'm
literally on my
filling
screen,
time.
just scrolling down my screen. But because I don't have my 2 screens, I can't put all of my notes up and
Oh,
on one
okay.
side and just look over. So I actually have to go into each of them. So
She
let's see.
actually
We already
has
talked
to
about
alt
Rockstar.
tab.
We talked about New York Times. We did not talk about Ubisoft suing the producer of the Assassin's Creed Symphony.
I haven't even heard of this.
All right, so Ubisoft last week, or maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, filed suit against a concert promoter that put on a bunch of a series, Assassin's Creed, or put on, symphonies. Assassin's Creed Symphony shows, essentially, from 2019 to 2020.
Like, he did it without Ubisoft's permission?
Yes, he originally did do it with their permission, but then apparently they withdrew their permission, yet he continued to do them.
No. Okay.
So yeah, they'd entered into an agreement to do the show in 2018, but then Ubisoft terminated the deal. And after the first tour that had gone through in 2018, Massimo Galata Productions, which is the name of the company that was doing it, continued to do those shows in 2019 and 2020. And at one point, Ubisoft took the issue to Massimo Galata Productions' registration of their URL for the show's website, without seeking their permission, and they took it over. And they refused to transfer the ownership of the URL to, take it back. Let's see. The registration for the URL for the Symphony show was taken out by Massimo Galata Productions without Ubisoft's permission.
Oh.
And Ubisoft is like, that's protected. You need to give us back that URL. And Massimo Galata was like, no, we're not giving back that URL. It's like, that's an Assassin's Creed URL. You can't have an Assassin's Creed URL because it belongs to us, and we're Assassin's Creed. So anyway, Ubisoft is suing for trademark and copy infringement, cyber squatting, breach of contract, the whole 9 yards.
Honestly, it sounds like they have a pretty strong case.
Well, the MGP Productions is saying that it has the rights to run such events. So they signed a deal in December for a new license. Well, Ubisoft signed a new licensee, but MGP says that Ubisoft did not have the right to stop. Essentially, they didn't have the right to end the contract the way that they did.
Oh, okay.
So if Ubisoft violated the contract terms by terminating it in a way that was not covered in the contract, then the contract still stands. And MGP has every right to do it.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to contract law.
Yeah. That's tricky, but it also feels like Massimo, not Massimo, Masso something.
Yeah.
They feel like they're pushing their luck a lot based on that story.
See, we'll see. I mean, it all comes down to, are they still technically entitled to being the contractee? And did
Yeah.
Ubisoft have the right to terminate the contract? If they didn't, then they can do whatever they want as long as that contract still stands. So anyway, your next item.
This is a bigger one of the week. Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red has released their next gen update for Cyberpunk on consoles. And with it comes a lot of fixes, a lot of improvements. Maps have been improved, relationship quests have been fleshed out, side quests have been fleshed out, uh, car handling has been changed, gun handling has been changed. Apparently on PS5 they actually have pretty good use of the haptic feedback in the triggers. And all in all, it feels like they've improved the game significantly. Although, one downside, it seems PlayStation 4 discs are pretty much busted. If you have the
Really?
game on PlayStation 4 on disc and you try to update it, people keep getting error messages saying that the data is corrupted. So, last I checked, there doesn't seem to be a fix for that yet. But I did check yesterday. Um, that sucks for the PS4 players of this game.
Mm-hmm.
For everyone else, it seems like this is closer to what the game was originally envisioned to be, or originally promised to be, I should say. And right on time, I think I saw like on the Xbox, it was on sale for like
Of course it is. Of course it is.
$20.
Why wouldn't? Yeah. At this point, they're doing their best with what they have. That
Yes, absolutely.
they're fighting some pretty serious
Bad press. Bad
Yeah.
publicity, not just press.
Just not even press, it's not even publicity at this point. It's bad reputation.
Yeah.
Like it's you don't have to see the press to go see it's bad. It's had been so trashed and taken such a hit that it's kind of in the zeitgeist of gamers of like, it's a bad game. And I
Yeah.
don't know that they will ever, in the same way that what was it? The space exploration game.
No Man's Sky.
Like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky had a very, very, very steep mountain to cross to get people to be convinced that it's not
Yeah.
bad. And it took a lot more people saying it's not bad to get some respect back. And even so, it still doesn't.
I mean, so CD Projekt Red is like a relatively medium-sized developer. They work on one game at a time. So like they need the game to be a hit, basically, is what I'm saying. They can't do an EA and like, well, we could fix Anthem, but we're just gonna shut it down and pull the plug because we're gonna put our resource into another game. CD Projekt Red doesn't really have that freedom. So on one hand, that's dangerous because they're basically putting all their eggs in one basket with each game release. But on the other hand, it means that you can rest assured that they will probably spend the next several years putting out updates to the game that do improve it. Whether or not that fundamentally improves a game that was good or bad remains to be seen. But basically, I think they have a road ahead of them to change the narrative around Cyberpunk the way No Man's Sky did. Because No Man's Sky released a long time ago. And since then, they have put out several updates that have been positively received. This is the first of like the big positive updates for Cyberpunk. if they continue to put out updates that are as well received as this one, like I can easily see a road ahead where the narrative of the game changes. But like we have just started down that road at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Easy Ray says, unless one of the improvements is a decent third-person mode, it's still dead to my sim sick butt. Oh, you poor thing. Yeah, that sucks. I'm so sorry about that. So yeah, I mean, would you consider at this point going as Cyberpunk 20? Because you and I, neither you nor I have purchased / bought
No.
it.
Not for a while, just because I have other games to play. I literally have The Witcher 3 installed on my PlayStation because I keep thinking, you know what? I want to go back to that game.
If I could finish it. Did you finish it?
No, I never
finished
did.
it.
I never did.
We really should.
I never even got to like the island area.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to the island area, and that's where I quit. So I'm just ahead of you. Sorry, it's just that the light is just too much. And now the shades are swaying. Give it a second. It'll go away.
Goalie's in the chat. He asks, where are you?
Where am I? Hold on a second. I'll tell you where I am. I'm right here, Goalie. So yeah, that's where I am. At Nick's place. We have ordered chicken. We have beer and soju and makgeolli in the refrigerator, and wine and a lot of other crazy alcohols that Nick has on. So much limoncello in this house. Holy crap!
Okay,
Nick
so
has a limoncello problem.
No, that's because my parents gave it to me a bunch for yes, it was portal.
It was very portal. I could actually hold on a second. I'm gonna do this. Give me a second. I'm gonna do this.
You're just gonna turn it.
Like, you know that thing that Andrew and Nick used to do with hands and stuff going through? It says it really is going through. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh God. Okay. Hey, she's not gonna drink all of my cheap wine. She's gonna drink all of my expensive wine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I am.
But okay, the limoncello. My parents would give me that a bunch for like Christmas and birthdays. But
it's a very Italian thing to do.
Yes, but also one of those bottles is like really super sweet limoncello that's bad and I don't like it. And so it's been in there for like 4 years. And I think another bottle, I think both of those bottles are the bad kind of limoncello. But then I have a third one that's cream that's good that I will drink.
By the way, let me give a shout out to Goalie. If you are not familiar with Goalie, used to be a co-host here on the show and is currently the host. And actually, I think you're a co-host. No, you're a host. It goes back and forth. I think you do have some guests that you have come on. Digital to Dice, which is essentially a tabletop gaming, especially tabletop sports gaming show. Highly recommended. Really cool. Tons of stuff of content. Goalie is a amazing play-by-play announcer for hockey and any kind of action sports. So he actually will call the game, playing the game tabletop. It is so amazing that someone could do that, could play a tabletop game and is calling it. And if you just listen
like it's a live sports game,
you would think it was a live sports game. He is incredibly talented, so I do want to support it. You can go over to Digital to Dice. You can find Digital to Dice on YouTube.
Oh, wait, I heard the phone.
Hey, chicken's coming.
I'll go let him in.
All right. And then if you go, he says it's approaching from your order. If you have to meet your dasher face to face, please wear a mask as a safety precaution. Hold on. Hello, Dale? Hi. Yeah. All right. If you go, there is going to be a driveway that is not the gated driveway. If you're at the gated driveway, there is a driveway on the other side of the building that is that you could drive into, like where the leasing office is, and just drive in there. My friend Nick has just gone down to pick it up from you. I'm sorry? Yes, we are in the building directly in front of McDonald's. Sorry, I did not expect this to become a thing. You will see a guy with dark hair, slender build. I believe he's wearing a tan shirt. I'm not quite sure of the color of his shirt, but you will see him yelling. I may, here, let me see if I can give you his number. Stand by.
Okay. Hey, let me try and connect you with him online. Yes, he's coming down to it. Hold on, guys. All right, I'm back. Let me see if I can get Nick taken care of. Apartment buildings. Apartment buildings are just the worst. This is why you live in a freaking house.
So, let's see if I can get with Nick. Perfect time for you to show up, Goalie, just as, like, you know, everything starts to shut down. Goalie says, is this a new VR game or something? It sort of is. I should have just given Nick. Did you get it? Nick? I should have just given him my phone. I see a door opening. Did you get it? Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. So, Bitter says, I love when real life creeps into the episode. All creep being the operative word. Riveting video game news. Yeah, okay. All right. So let me give you some riveting video game news. What were we talking about beforehand was CDPR being updated and how we had not bought that. Well, here's something that even as Nick was talking about it, that I thought would be a really good option for CD Projekt Red to start getting its reputation back is to offer it for free for a period of time. And guess what is free next week? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They've got a new DLC that is coming out, and it is Ubisoft has said that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the biggest selling Assassin's Creed video game they have had so far in all of their Assassin's Creed games. They've made more than $1 billion on the game so far. Yeah. It's Q3 2022 call to investors. They said it is the most lucrative release in Assassin's Creed series so far to date. The revenue from the game has surpassed $1 billion as of December. So that's a couple of months ago. They've got a new DLC coming out, Dawn of Ragnarok. That's coming out, I think, next week or week after. So when that comes out, in anticipation, smartly, anticipation of it coming out, they want people to, if you haven't put your toe into Valhalla yet, play it for free now, because now it's an even bigger. And this is a way that CD Projekt Red could actually start stemming some of what it's been struggled with. You know, some of the bad press, not the bad press, the bad reputation that it has is when it releases at a point where they are prouder of it to offer it for free, because there's a lot of people that had CD Projekt Red, that had Cyberpunk 2077. Either they bought it and returned it because it was unusable, especially on console, or they sat on the sidelines, watch all the people return their games and never bought it, but heard that it's a really good story. And that's what I've heard. I've heard that there's a lot good about it, wrapped in a really shitty game.
Wait, are we talking about Cyberpunk or Valhalla?
Cyberpunk.
Okay.
But Valhalla's news kind of wraps into that Cyberpunk. We were talking about how Cyberpunk really needs to overcome its reputation of being a shitty game, and the question is, will it ever? One of the ways it could do it is release it for a little. I would absolutely, probably more than Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I would absolutely love to have a week of Cyberpunk with no obligation. I want to see what it is now, because I never played it. I just heard it was, well, I'm saying I knew it was bad. I knew it was going to be a problem. I saw people returning it, and I'm not jumping in.
Give me a reason.
Fair.
Give me a reason to jump in so I can try.
Goalie says he can jump on for like 20 minutes. Speaking of jumping.
Really?
Really? Okay. Being at Nick's house, I don't have access to a lot of the stuff that I normally would. So, yeah, this would be perfect because I can have Goalie jump in, and then I can go get some food, some beer.
Okay, I'm gonna wait until we're done.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I do have your Gmail. Good. I do. All right. Your invite has been sent, sir. It may be in your junk mail. Just be aware of that, because it is coming from a Google account, not from my normal account. So, what else you got, Nick?
The Nintendo Switch has now outsold the Wii.
The original Wii?
Yep.
Wow.
The Nintendo Switch is, I think it's like third in the best-selling consoles. Well, no, in terms of Nintendo, it's third. It's behind the DS and the Game Boy, but
Yeah,
it will probably surpass the Game Boy in a couple months because it's still selling really well.
Wow.
Yeah. So where was it? Yeah, it's over. It has outsold the 3DS, which had sold about 75 million.
Mm-hmm.
Game Boy, it's just behind. Game Boy sold 118 million.
Share your screen.
Oh, okay.
That would be a good thing to say. Graphics are good.
Well, it's not a graphic; it's all a text article.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was like a chart.
No. So yeah, basically, the Switch has sold 103 million units as of December, and the Wii's lifetime units were 101 million units. So it's just past the Wii. But with Game Boy at 118, it makes sense that give it another couple months and it will probably surpass that.
Is that a beard? It is. Oh my God. Look at that beard right there.
doing the beard, doing the gym. I'm a new man.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Sorry,
No,
didn't
get
mean
him
to do
out of
that.
here. It's a
No,
new
no,
man.
no.
That's
I'm
not
trying to-
all goalie. Kick him out.
I'm trying to get it so that you are like the. No, you're still not doing it. It does not act the same way that my home computer acts, so that I can make you the big screen. Maybe.
Oh, okay. You could do it with
There we
yourself.
go. Look
There.
at that. Look at that. Looking good.
Getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah. So yeah, you look very much like a sports announcer now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
modern sports announcer.
So how's things? How's Digital Dice going?
Going pretty well. Did episode 123 the other day, so it's going
Mhm.
pretty well. Growing, yeah, it's growing. I like we alternate between like guests and just us talking, and it's going pretty well. It's a smaller community than video games by far,
Yeah.
but we have a good time. We have a good time. It's been 2.5 years we've been doing that.
Yeah. Jeez, has
come
it
on.
really been 2.5 years since you've
Yeah, and
been
you want to hear a
here?
funny story? Is so I'm on YouTube all the time, right? And I saw the trailers for Horizon Forbidden West, right?
Yes.
And I was like, man, I really enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn. And I might go back. So I fired up the PlayStation, I had to plug it in, and then do all the updates, right? And then I thought I had
All
it, but
the updates,
yeah,
which
I
was
know.
a lot of
It's
updates
probably
for
been
you.
8 or 9 months since I turned it on. It was just like, are you sure you want to turn this on? Yes. I had to ask all these questions all over again. It's unbelievable. But I ended up, I had the disc on me, so I put the disc in and loaded it back up, and I started playing it, and man, that game is so good. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
It was great. It really was. And I ended up so what I'm figuring is I'm going to play this one out again, and then hopefully when I'm done this, the new one might be on a sale of some kind, and I'll pick up the new one. So that way I'll go right from the old one to the new one, because it's been years since I played it. But what was really, really weird, and I think I texted you guys this, is that holding the controller in my hands and moving things around were so different because I hadn't done it. Seriously, I mean, I bought Skyrim. I played Skyrim a few months ago, but I really haven't done a game like that. I'm like, holy cow, this was so weird.
And you're like, oh wait, I'm not rolling things. How does this work?
Getting the muscle memory back was much different than you would think. But it was very
That's
fun.
fascinating.
And what was
No, I'm
really
not
good
gonna-
now. Well, yeah, cupcakes, nice. Now I don't know if they
Okay,
added
well.
this or if this was always there, but they got a mode that's even less than puss mode. It's called story mode.
Really?
So I put it says this is for people who just want to experience the game and really not have any. So I put it on story mode, and I'm God mode pretty much, really. But you know, I'm because I'm so rusty, it's fine because I just want to play the story again and experience it. I'm not looking for any kind of challenge in killing these things or climbing walls. I just kind of want to breeze through the story again, refresh my memory, and then play the new game. But it was really, really fun. In fact, I had it on the TV down here, and I had the Bose system going and had all the noises and stuff. And the wife yells down, she goes, "Are you playing a video game?" And this is someone who played tons of Call of Duty Zombies with me. And I'm like, "Can you believe I'm playing a video game?" She's like, "You haven't played a video game in how long?" I go, I know. But it was really fun to go back and play that again. It's on the PS4, so I think the new one's on the PS4 too. I don't know how good it'll be.
Yeah,
I'm not
it
gonna buy a 5 just to play one game, but it was fun, you know, going back and doing that. And I really can't. I didn't remember this game being so easy to play, and I don't mean game wise, but I mean like menu driven and stuff. Because I remember the Witcher come out, and it was just like, man, you needed like a degree in calculus 2 and 3 to figure out the Witcher menu.
Yeah.
And then they finally they dumbed it down a little bit. And it's like, yeah, then it all made sense. So after playing with it and then fixing it, the Witcher menu was okay. The Skyrim was okay too. It wasn't too bad. Horizon Zero Dawn, everything was just laid out so nice. Like I didn't have to look up anything. I wasn't confused. And so it's probably not my. It's probably Skyrim, Witcher 3, and then Horizon Zero Dawn as far as my favorites. But as far as ease of learning the game and the menus, Horizon Zero Dawn clearly is the winner as far as playing the game. Enjoying it very much.
So you haven't played Forbidden West at all yet? You're still
no. I was
going
telling
back
Nick
and playing
I want
Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I'm playing Zero Dawn again so I can kind of refresh myself, and I'm just playing on story mode. At some point I might bump it up because I really am just walking through this game, and it's as fun as it is. Remember when we played Diablo on God mode, and you walk through, like, people would touch you and you would die. That's kind of how this is here. But I am enjoying the story mode. I am still sneaking around and trying to play it like I can die in the whole bit. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new one there. And boy, it's a long game, so it's going to take me a while. So you got your PS5 today, and you're setting up right now. Nice. I don't think I'm going to get one. I like my 4, and I still have all the stuff on the 4. And I don't see myself getting back into gaming much. But I mean, that's one game that I enjoy. In fact, I think I was still on the show when I played it. And I remember I picked it up on sale for $20, and after I finished it, I felt guilty that I paid $20 for that game. I wanted to write a check to somebody.
I remember you telling us
Remember
about
me saying that?
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, guys, I paid $20 for this game, and I don't know how many hours I put into it and how much fun and enjoyment I had. It's like, I really need to write a check for $40 to somebody to get it up to the 60. It was well worth the $60. It really was. But I remember when we first saw that, and I don't know if it was at one of the PAXs or one of the E3s, and we watched the videos, and I remember saying to myself, cave people and robots in the future, not interested.
That is not you. Yeah, and remember you were like, yeah, no.
No, just fighting robots is just not my thing. But for $20, I tried it, and when I did it, it had such a Planet of the Apes feel to it, where you had these primitive humans with a little bit of technology, and then they went into the cities, and the cities were all abandoned, and they had the old technology so you could, like, look at the stuff from the past, which was, so it had a Planet of the Apes feel to it. And you were trying to avoid the robots like you were trying to avoid the apes in Planet of the Apes because they were going to kill you. And the whole story was really kind of interesting, but I don't remember it all. So I want to play it all again. But it was, like I was telling Nick, it was weird, having that controller in my hand. I just
was it when you put it in your hand, did it feel foreign and strange, or did you put it in your hand the way that you feel like when you get on a bicycle? Like for a second it's a little weird, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah. I got this.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this feels good, but like I'm going into my settings and I'm adjusting the sensitivity. I'm like, where did I have this? And what is, is this right? I felt like I was like, like I said, trying to pedal that bike and stay balanced, and just, about a half hour later, I was back in it was smooth again. But for the first couple of scenes, just walking around, it's like, whoa, this is weird. Haven't done this in a while, and I gotta get the thumbs pushing just the right amount of way. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to go too slow.
AC Ray says, "Have you playing Galaxy Outlaw?"
I think I tried the Rebel Galaxy, the original one, and it was just okay. I don't know why I had a tough time with that one there, but it was okay.
I think I had the same reaction to you.
That's the one you had to take the ship, and if you wanted to fire it, you had to swing it to the side, and you shot from the side, not from the front. So instead of going at a ship, you had to turn and then shoot from the side.
Like real ships as opposed to...
Yeah, and then you were vulnerable, and it was just like, man, I just kept dying in it, and I couldn't figure it out. I wasn't having a lot of fun with it, so...
He says it's a full 3D piloting game, totally
maybe
different
it's better.
combat.
Maybe it's better. I had some fun with it.
Yeah.
I was playing Skyrim for a little while, too. I still want to go back and play
I went back to
Skyrim.
Skyrim. I don't know if did I tell you that I went back to Skyrim?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's such a fun game to chill. And
it's just the heroine of video games. It really is.
I've had that for the 360. I've had it for the PS4. And then I bought it for Xbox One because I moved my Xbox upstairs so I could just play upstairs. Right? So I bought it for Xbox One about 6 or 8 months ago, and that's where I have it now. Every time I pick the same character, with the same qualities, I go the same way. I do the same first quest. It's like, can I try something different? I play it the exact, and I want to do differently.
You like
But
the
I'm
familiar.
so comfortable. I'm so comfortable this way, and I like this way, and I had fun this way that I don't want to try something that's not going to be fun and regret it.
Yeah.
Good.
It was like you've got your way of playing,
Yeah.
and you like this is how I like to play, so
Yeah.
I'm going to play like this.
And it was even worse with Oblivion, because I remember I went back to Oblivion. I started from the beginning, and I get out of the cave, and I went into a certain, and I did something, and I went, son of a bitch, I did this exact. You come out and go anywhere in Oblivion. And I went to the exact same place, and I was like, it's like I felt like I went back in time and just watched myself walk the same path. I'm like, go someplace different, over there, Dave, over there. And I did. I went the same thing. It's just like I just played this. I was like, man, here I am playing the same exact way 10, 15 years later. Oh.
Blood Reaver says, anyhow you start, you end up as a stealth archer.
Oh, yes.
True.
Yeah,
And I'm trying not to do that because I did see that. It's like, oh, you're always going to be shooting from it. And so I'm like, okay, let's not do that. Let's just build up a guy. And I like to be a magic guy and shoot my missiles or whatever at him. But it's just so tempting to pick. It's like sniping. You just snipe him with that.
Yeah, like
It's
you
so
start
tempting.
out going, no, I'm going to be a melee person. I'm going to be a rogue. Like
Yep.
a real up close and personal. And then you notice it's like, oh, I got this really good
And then it's like,
bow.
then you come
really
up on
good
something.
bow.
And then all of a sudden you're using it, and it's like, oh god, now my bow is now leveled up higher than my knives.
Yeah.
Yep. And then it sucks. Then you come up on a decision. You're like, damn it, I'm making a different decision here. But I can't.
But I can't because that was
I
an
like
asshole thing to do. I don't want to be the
Yeah.
asshole. I want to be a nice
Yeah.
person. So
I
I'm
like
gonna
this
do a nice
person here.
thing.
I'm gonna help this person out. I want to help
I
out
don't want to kill them.
Yeah, the lady with the 3 orphans. I'm going to help her out, damn it. I'm not going to be the jerk and give her away to the god or whatever. It's like I want to do something different, and no matter how many times I try to be the bad guy, I just can't. I'm good at being a bad guy in real life, but in video games, I got to be the nice guy. Some things never change. It's unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah, if you never tried anything different, then you would never have fried chicken from a gas station.
Yeah, true.
That's what we got right now, gas station fried chicken. It is the best fried chicken. The best.
There's a
fried
joke
chicken
in there
ever.
somewhere.
It is. There's a joke.
Yeah,
there. Look
yeah.
it up. Crispy Crunchy. There's article in the, I want to say it's San Francisco Chronicle or San Francisco SF Gate about Crispy Crunchy chicken, about like the guy had a friend that convinced him, go get it. And it's like, it's in a gas station. He goes, I'm not eating fried chicken from a gas station.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
trust me.
Yeah. We just did a chat on that the other night about trying new games because in our community there's always new games that come out and there's all these, especially like just regular Joes, is that they always come out with a new baseball game or a hockey game, football game. Hey, and so we did a show about we have our favorite games that we play. Why do we keep buying new games or finding new games and playing new games? It's like you got a game that you like. It's like, why don't we just stick with that? And we did a whole topic on that, and I guess it's like you said about the fried chicken. It's if you had your favorite place to go for food and you just ate there and no place else, how would you ever know if you would find something you like? So we keep playing new games. I must have 40 hockey games. No joke. 40 hockey games I can play on my table right now. You'd think that after 5 or 10, I'd find one that I liked and just stick with it. But, you try out, and then maybe, I would have never... this back here, up here, all these are all the cards and seasons for a game I play. And if I never tried that game, it's my favorite one. If I didn't try it, it would never be my favorite game because I never would have tried it because I would have said, I'm happy here. So, so that's why we keep trying to do...
Jesus, Ace, you're right. I can't believe you found that article.
Crispy Crunchy.
Wow.
Sounds like...
Yeah, there it is. Gas station chicken eats good. All right.
That just
so,
was- if it was
what's the biggest
Ken-
news in
Ken's-
tabletop gaming right now? What?
I'm going to do what now? I got about 10 minutes. What I got?
What's the biggest news in tabletop gaming right now?
In the sports world, let me see. The big one is called Stratomatic. Is the big one?
No, not the
Stratomatic.
biggest game, but the biggest news. Like what?
Yeah,
is
well,
there
that's what I'm saying.
any
Stratomatic Baseball just released their new PC baseball game, and they just re-released a couple of seasons. I think it was 1940. was a 48 and then 1986. So what they do is they redo seasons because they've been around for so long. They have seasons, and then they update them with the new rules and the whole bit. So they just released a new PC game. Every year they get the new PC game out. So the PC game has come out, and they got 2 new seasons come out or 2 remade seasons come out. So that's probably the biggest news in the community. Aside from that, there's a couple of small games come out. I don't mean to belittle anybody, but it's just a 2-man operation come out with a pretty cool baseball game a couple months ago called Pocket Pennant Run. And it used 3 dice, and you look at the chart, and it tells you what happened, and it's really fun. I think it was a $10 baseball game, and it comes with 100 seasons, so you can play 1901 baseball if you want to. You can play the 1927 Yankees, who are the best team ever. Or you can, whatever. Stratomatic's a big one. They just come out with their new thing there. The Pocket Pennant Run was a fun game. I'm trying to think what else I've been playing here. Oh, you want to see something really cool? Mm-hmm. Check out this. Get the big camera ready. Somebody made this for me. This is look at that.
Oh my God! It's a dice table.
It's a dice table. Yep.
That is
box.
so cool.
So you take your dice.
So awesome.
So I got some dice right here. Let me just roll my dice, and I'll show you how this works. And he customized it all for me too. So here we go. So I got some dice. I got my table, and roll right on there. And it's really neat. Like, I'll put it up.
Amazing.
Yep. Look at the quality of this thing. And it's got Gardner Stadium on there. It's got my favorite games. All the teams. So what I do is I have an overhead camera that points right down at it, and I roll the dice on here, and you can see me roll the dice and play the baseball game, and
that's amazing.
And he made me a hockey one too. The hockey one's over there. I'll show it again at another time. It's a hockey one's just kind of like a shot of the board. So if you could picture like the glass and the boards, so you're rolling the dice against the boards and the glass. So that one's it's a lot smaller than that. But that baseball one, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I said, I gotta have one of those. And so the guy made them for me and shipped them up. I had them in like 5 days. He made them and shipped them up to me. So that was really, really fun there. So yeah, having a lot of fun with the you don't know how fun it is rolling dice. When you used to play Yahtzee or Monopoly back in the day, just that it's very intimate when you're rolling the dice rather than sitting back and watching everything take place on a computer. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So but as far as anything else goes, that's just kind of it. We're just kind of plugging along. We had a guy on the show about 4 months ago. He's out in California, and he's on a Amazon Prime series. And oh my gosh, I forget the name of the series. Now, I haven't seen it yet, but he's an actor on a series. And he wanted to do a documentary on the tabletop gaming through the pandemic. Because myself and my friend Ron, not only did we have the podcast, but we were doing nightly videos because I was out of work. So back in like March of 2020, we did 2 or 3 solid months every night on YouTube doing chats on Facebook. And so he went back and listened to the shows. He goes, you wouldn't believe when I listened before the shutdown, through the shutdown, and after the shutdown, how the show had the ups and downs. And he wanted to do a documentary on that with some of his Hollywood peeps on not just us, but we would be a big focus of that. So it was really kind of neat. There's my the game I played the other day. Yep. So there's the overhead view.
You see it in action.
Yep.
The cards, the players.
Yep. Each player has a card. So I just threw the pitchers out on the field so you can see the pitchers, and then the batter I put at home plate, and just scrub ahead a little bit. You can see some of the dice being rolled because I was just kind of showing it off there. But that's kind of how cool it was there. Just you see the dice roll, and I get men on the base. You can see I put little pegs for the guys that are on base. So you can and the top's a scoreboard from an actual PC baseball game. So I'm keeping score on that, but I'm using the scoreboard. So I roll the dice. You see what the result is. I tell you what happened. You see how many outs? You see how many people are on base? You can see, who's hitting, and okay, that guy probably struck out or something like that. Now there's 2 outs, and now this guy comes up, and I'm going to roll the dice for him and see how he does, and he gets a 14, and let's see what a 14 is, and I tell you what happened, and it's either a hit or an out of some kind, and I log it in, and it looks like he get out. So now we go to the top of the fifth, and that's the kind of fun you can have playing these games. It's really
It's
who
so
would've thought?
awesome.
It
Yeah.
is. It's old man stuff, but it's quite intuitive.
And I gotta say, I think this might have started this interest in it. I mean, obviously you played Spattermatic when you were a kid and everything, but I remember you going to PAX East with us. One of the PAX Easts, and you were like, I go down to the board
I did.
game
That was
session.
interesting.
And all of a sudden, it's like you could see that seed was being sown for what eventually would become digital
Yep.
dice.
In fact, we had the guy on the show that I ran into at one of the PAX East who had the football game on the table.
Mhm.
And I was like, "You're playing football on a table?" And he's
Cool.
like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, we have a computer game too." And he gave me a copy of the computer game. We had him on the show, and I told him that story. He goes, I vaguely remember a guy like you, from Boston coming down and talking to us, But, Edie, it was you that said it one day. You said, we're not in the target demographic for video games anymore. So
Yeah.
So I had to, so I have to find something else that I can do, because when I play Madden, I put in Madden. Okay, here's the tutorial: spin left, jump over this guy, and get in the end zone. All right, spin is what now? All right, no, I got the spin. Now the jump is. You failed. I did. I failed it. I can't do it. I can't hit all those buttons anymore.
Okay,
just
I
can't.
remember trying to play Madden with Chris Salazar years and years ago, and I even had trouble with that.
Yeah.
Madden asks a lot of you. Like, no matter who you
yeah.
are, it's tough.
There's
There
so
are
many
no
buttons to
new
push.
Madden players. There are only old Madden players that are still playing. Well, I should say older Madden players that are still playing, and their kids that they teach how to play Madden.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just walk into Madden and play it anymore.
I couldn't do it. Even the basketball game, I tried to play, like the 2K basketball, which is the big one. And it's like, okay, to take a shot, you want to hold the left trigger, hit R1, hit A, and then pull down on the thumbstick, and that'll take a shot and fade away. What? How about if I just hit A to take the shot?
It's the equivalent of a sports fighting game. That's what it is. It's a sports fighting game.
It just, I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
That's why the best sports video game will always be NFL Blitz.
Oh yeah, those ones. Yeah, I got all the PlayStation 2 games like right behind me. These are all PS2 right there, and it's a couple of buttons, bam, 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 and then you're done. And those are the funnest ones. The Sega Genesis were the great ones too. 1991, 1992, good times.
Right.
The new stuff, as good as the graphics are, and it looks like you're watching on TV, I can't do it. It just can't do it. And the other thing about the new games is you're stuck playing this season. If I want to go back and play something that I grew up with, that's why I play the baseball games and stuff I do, because I can play 1986, I can play 1975, I can play 1991. If I'm playing Madden, I'm playing 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So
AC Ray says they couldn't even play Blood Bowl or Mutant Football League.
I didn't try either one of those. I saw the Blood Bowl and I was like,
yeah. I think that you
I might like the Blood Bowl because it's a kind of turn-based
You might like
game.
Mutant Football League too.
I think I looked into those. They looked interesting.
Because Mutant Football League was reissued. It's modern. I think.
Yeah, it was remade. Yeah.
By the guy who originally made it, and he struggled. It was a real struggle of getting it back, getting the IP, and then redoing it again. It was all crowdfunded, but yeah.
Whatever happened to that? Did that come out?
I still never got
it's out. Yes, and it's popular. It's like tabletop gaming. It's popular within its niche of people, and they really love it. And the guy is actually apparently really, really good. He's in Oakland, I think he is.
I still never got my Carmageddon game that I crowdfunded.
Me either.
Imagine that, the one time I ever funded anything in my life, and I don't know how much I put on. I don't know if it was $50 or $100. It wasn't a ton of money. But I made sure I got the game and the T-shirt and something else. And the last update was probably about 4 years ago, and it said, "Sorry, folks, we don't have the money to give you the game. So if you want to download it, feel free." But
I have backed a lot of things. That is the one thing I've ever backed that didn't come out.
Yep, I got
everything else I've done did come out. So anyway,
I'd be better off backing all those truckers in Canada right now. You know what I mean? At least if you're gonna take my money, I know. Yeah, I know.
Don't get me started. Yeah, I was resisting talking about how apparently with Horizon Forbidden West that there's a number, like way more than the first time, a lot of tweets, because of course a lot of it's next generation. It's highly detailed, and as far as the graphics are concerned on the next generation, and there's a lot more this time. Players that are complaining that, Aloy doesn't have curves. She doesn't look like a real woman because she doesn't have curves.
The more detail, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody said that it's like, hey, what's wrong with you? You put, hair on Aloy's face like she has a beard. Oh, that's not how real women are. It's like, yeah, that is.
Well, when you get to our age, women have
you
beards.
will actually see she does have baby hair on her face. Unless she waxes. But yeah, like there were men complaining that Aloy is not curvy enough, not like a real woman is.
That's the problem with video games. That everyone bitches about something about the. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone. You can't just
enjoy
the game.
Yeah,
just enjoy the game.
I'm wondering if
I mean, that's just people on Reddit complaining about things. That's not the majority.
It's not just that they're not complaining. They're complaining that she's not curvy enough. It's that they're saying that she is not like a real woman because she has hair on her face and is not curvy. Not like a real woman. It's just it's a
like Lara Croft.
Right, exactly, because they think that Lara Croft is a real woman, and that's the thing that is a little scary. Is these people that think that that's real?
What do you mean? These people?
There are people. Those people think that's real.
Yeah, they're teenagers complaining on Reddit. That's what it is.
Anyway,
yeah, it has to be. So,
let's hope. Let's hope it is.
Oh,
anyway,
I gotta jump up. I gotta go referee a hockey game, so I'm filling in for somebody tonight. But
all right.
If you that was funny. If you haven't been within 10 feet of a woman before.
yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, good seeing everybody, and it was fun that I'm playing video game. At least back a little bit playing some games again. So I'm trying to follow along, and Halo should be a thick mill.
I'm not even gonna say it out loud.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No, it's a fun, good story.
Give us more. Say again. How do you reach Digital Dice? Where do you find it?
Yeah, digitaltodice.com. We're over there. That's where we put all the shows over on Spreaker. And we got a Facebook group, Digital to Dice on Facebook, and chat over there.
Spreaker. We had to end our relationship with Spreaker.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, they we haven't had a podcast come out in a while, actual audio show, for a good long time, and because we're having to find another solution. Yeah, they got rid of our plan.
Oh, did they? Oh, and you guys had a ton
they
of shows,
locked us.
Yeah,
they locked us out. It would have cost us, in order to continue to host our show on them with our back catalog, somewhere in the realm of $1,500 a month.
Oh yeah, no, that's all set with that.
No, I'm sorry. Take that back. It would have cost us.
Wasn't it like $5,000 a year or something?
Yeah, $5,000 a year. Yeah, $5,000 a year.
Yeah. Well, you got to think that we might have to come up with that someday because we're on the second tier plan. We still got plenty of hours left, but at some point, if this is a fun thing for me, it's like I might cut off the first 50 shows or something like that. I'll archive it myself, but it's like I don't think anybody's gonna go back and listen to something from 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, at some point we'll have to get to that. Yeah, and that's the problem with the podcasting. If you go a long time, that's a lot of storage, and that's
Yeah.
So yeah,
you're penalized for your longevity. Anyways, good to talk to you, Dave. Have a great time. Again, it is dice.com.
Yep, having some fun over there. I still check in with you guys on Sunday nights. I still like to pop on once in a while, pretend I'm part of the gang.
You are part of the gang.
You're always part of the gang.
Part of the gang. Yep, absolutely.
I try to be part of the gang. So anyway, all right. We'll
see maybe one of these days when we can travel again and things start to open up, we'll come back out and.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have you up here.
Go to Kowloon.
Yep, before they close. before they close.
When do they
Oh, they're
close?
closing?
They're talking about turning that into something else pretty soon. Yeah. So
Oh, jeez.
yep. So yeah. So
We may have to go for one big night.
sooner than later. Yep.
All right.
Yep. So
Good to talk to
all
you,
right,
Nick.
guys.
Have a good
Bye,
one.
guys.
Bye.
All right. So, anything else before we end the show, Nick? We are going on what? 2.5 hours.
Yes, and this is some bigger news. This is the latest in the Activision Blizzard shit show.
Yeah, I was debating on whether I wanted to bring it up.
Well, basically, the Department of Fair Employment and Housing has subpoenaed more of Activision's directors based on their handling of the workplace issues, and they've also subpoenaed police departments in the LA area for any information about Bobby Kotick and 18 other current and former Activision employees.
Oh, I did not know about that.
Yeah. So it's continuing, and it's ramping up in a way that is good and positive to see, because if when the sale goes through, Kotick is set to make a fat chunk of money from it. But if he's in jail or something, or we can hope that this puts a damper on that payday somewhat.
And I was reading this morning that the reports are coming out that Phil Spencer reached out to Bobby Kotick within days of the announcement of the DFH. Like as soon as it came, he's like,
oh no,
Southwest.
It wasn't the DEFH investigation. It was the report from the Wall Street Journal that Bobby Kotick was more personally involved in it. And it's fucking shocking. Basically that report came out 3 days later. Spencer calls up Kotick and says, "Hey, we're thinking about strategic acquisition. Do you want to talk with the CEO of Microsoft tomorrow?"
Hold on a second. You're lagging out. I don't know if it's you or me.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Do you want to speak with the CEO of Microsoft tomorrow?"
Yes. Yeah. And then 8 days later, they sold. Like the sale of Activision Blizzard to Microsoft took less than 2 weeks to go through. Contrast that with like Bungie selling to Sony over the course of months of negotiation. This is really like the Bobby Kotick and Activision board just like, fuck it, let's go. But also, there's
running from the ship.
There's reports that other people were interested in buying Activision. When that stock dropped, everyone's heads perked up like, ooh.
Yeah.
There was all of the companies are unnamed, but apparently one of them just wanted to buy Blizzard, and Activision thought, no, that's going to be too much trouble to split that off on its own. And so the reason it went through so fast is like Microsoft jumped on them basically before anyone else could.
Mm-hmm.
But when that stock dropped, it's just funny to think that all these sorts of people like, we're going to fucking get that. We're going to get that.
Mm-hmm. So the news that I saw, there was a bunch of other news coming out, but the other news that I saw was that there were revelations that Bobby Kotick, Activision Blizzard is a California company. California is generally pretty liberal and very pro-union. And one of the problems with Activision is that it really did not want a union around, especially when they had, a culture that was all about pretty much abusing people of color and trans people, LGBTQ community, and also women. Well, Bobby Kotick had a lot of big words from the company about its liberal leanings. However, he had a secret company that he used
I
to donate big money to Republican campaigns. So the company is called Norgate LLC, and they contributed $500,000 through 2 different checks to the Senate Leadership Fund during the 2020 election cycle, the Republican, and they were the Senate Republican Leadership Fund. This is according to a Federal Election Commission filings that were reviewed by CNBC. So yeah, he also had another company called 807080A LLC, which had also given donations to big Republican causes.
So I was wondering, and I didn't see this in the article, if this was an attempt by him to keep the donations secret, or is this more an attempt to get around the individual donor limitations?
No, it's not an effort to get around the individual donor limitations, because he was giving to PACs, and that's the whole thing about political action committees.
Okay.
You can give out anything you want. That's how they get around the individual donation, is by political action committees. However, I have no problem with anyone donating about this, and it's not about the politics. I have no problem donating to organizations, to political groups, to however you want to do it, as long as it's legal. And it's not about what flavor it is. It's about hiding it. And the fact that if you are going to donate, you do it in your own name. It just smells of deceit. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's illegal. It's deceitful.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that to create secret companies to donate to Republicans, when you're working for a company that is so clearly troubled in ways that would be characterized as, in ways that would be fixed by unions, which is what you're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're giving a lot of money to fight, like well over $1 million in 2020, personally, to stop that from happening, and wanting to have influence. You don't donate to companies.
After
Nobody
the sale,
donates that much money to Republicans or to Democrats without wanting influence on
of course.
legislation.
And after the money, he'll have way more money to donate.
Yep. Now he'll have a lot more influence. So yeah.
Okay, before we end the show, I want to end it on another great food sin. This news story came in the Discord from Blood Reaper. Mountain Dew is coming out with a new flavor of soda.
This is not going to be good.
Can you guess what it is?
Candy corn.
No. You're close in awfulness, though.
Peeps.
No. Less candy, more snack food.
Fritos?
No.
Doritos.
It
Cheetos.
is. It's Cheetos.
Just end with an O. Really?
It's specifically flaming hot Cheetos flavored soda.
Oh, that's disgusting. That's disgusting.
That is a new low.
A new low.
Mm-hmm.
A new low. Absolutely.
I saw that. Yeah.
It is now almost 5 o'clock. The only thing I have eaten was that honey roll, which, by the way, they aren't that good. They burnt them.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, those are burnt. So I mean, they're good, but they're burnt. But yeah, it's 5 o'clock. Other than the coffee that you saw me drink, and that thing, that's all I've had to eat. I am starving now, and my brain is starting to curdle. So, with that note, Blood Reaper say people still buy it.
Yes,
yeah,
still
everybody will buy it once, just once. And we let the chicken get cold. I know Nick didn't want to eat chicken. Well, do you guys?
No,
so
I don't on the show. This is just weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of bad news. So anyway, we'll be back next week. Thank you so much for listening to GameHounds. If you have not listened to us before, you're showing up at the wrong time. But it was a pleasure to have you here, and it was a pleasure to be here. Yeah, just at the end of the show. Come back next week. We do this at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. Well, almost every Sunday on Spreaker. No, on YouTube, Twitch,
Yeah.
and Facebook. I know that's sorry.
Yeah, force of
Of course,
habit.
I have it. Yeah. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. On Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. On YouTube, we're GameHounds Vids as VIDS. If you are watching on YouTube, please take a moment. Go hit the like and subscribe bell right now. Just go reach down there and clicky and give us a like, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to, we'd love to have you subscribe. That way you can get notified when we go live every Sunday. Thanks so much for listening. We will be back next week. And we're going to be in separate areas. Don't worry. And I will be back to actually being able to run my show properly and not on a laptop.
Because I'll be at Edie's place.
No, you won't. See you, everyone. Bye.